राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचर अष्टोत्तर शतस्य श्रीमद् श्री भक्त वेदांत शास्त्रोपाद की जाय। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतस्य श्रीमद् श्री भक्त सिद्धांत ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचार्य हरदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभुवन श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगमय यमुनमयी की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled Lord Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled Lord Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled Lord Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga Shubhopal ki jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Gram. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Visaya Sunavad Panchanta Destarani. Thank you for joining. We are discussing Bhagavad Gita, new chapter, chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritam Devanarottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudira Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavatanestiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. Chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge, Raja Vidya, verse number 1. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave Gnanam Vijnana Sahitam Yad Gnatva Mokshayase Asubhat. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave Gnanam Vijnana Sahitam Yad Gnatva Mokshayase Asubhat. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave Gnanam Vijnana Sahitam Yad Gnatva Mokshayase Asubhat. Word to word. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, Idam, this, tu, what, te, unto you, Guhyatamam, the most confidential, Pravakshami, I am speaking, Anusuyave, to the non-envious, Gnanam, knowledge, Vijnanam, realized knowledge, Sahitam, with, Yat, which, Gnatva, knowing, Moksha, I say, will be released, Asubha, from this miserable material existence. Translation by Joannes S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. Repeat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of the material existence. Verse number 2. We'll be discussing first three verses. This is one section in this, and then we will try to understand after reading the verses. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Vidamuttamam Pratyakshavagam Dharmyam Susukam Kartumavyayam Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Vidamottamam Pratyakshavagam Dharmyam Susukam Kartumavyayam. राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमं प्रत्यक्षावगमं धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्. Rajavidya, the king of education. Rajaguhyam, the king of confidential knowledge. Pavitram, the purest. Idam, this. Uttamam, transcendental. Pratyaksha, by direct experience. Avagamam, understood. Dharmyam, the principle of religion. Susukam, very happy. Kartum, to execute. Avyayam, everlasting. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge. And because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Verse number 3. And then we'll try to understand. अश्रद्धधाना पुरुषा धर्मस्यास्य परं तप अप्राप्य मां निवर्तन्ते मृत्यु संसारवर्त्मनि अश्रद्धधाना पुरुषा धर्मस्यास्य परं तप अप्राप्य मां निवर्तन्ते मृत्यु संसारवर्त्मनि अश्रद्धधाना पुरुषा धर्मस्यास्य परं तप अप्राप्य मां निवर्तन्ते मृत्यु संसारवर्त्मनि. Ashraddhadana, those who are faithless, Purusha, such persons, Dharmasya, toward the process of religion, Asya, this, Parantapa, O killer of the enemies, Aprapya, without obtaining, Mam, me, Nivartante, come back, Mrityu, of death, Samsara, in material existence, worth money on the path. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. Those who are not faithful in this devotion service cannot attain me. O conqueror of enemies, therefore they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Repeat. Those who are not faithful in this devotion service cannot attain me. O conqueror of enemies, therefore they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Try to understand. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं. श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तों की जय. So this chapter, ninth chapter, the most confidential knowledge. So, why Lord Krishna is speaking directly the most confidential knowledge here? From 8th chapter, we see the last verse. What is the connection? Every chapter, there is a connection, there is a systematic presentation. It is not haphazardly done. Bhagavad Gita is very sequentially, very systematically present. So, chapter 8 at the end, chapter 7 and 8 are, when one way to look at first, second and third chapter of Bhagavad. First chapter is introduction of the book, whole book. The second and third chapter are giving the knowledge by which he can understand his position, constitution position of the living entity, his own position, the spirit soul, and difference between body and soul, and understanding by which his relation with the Supreme Lord as a spirit soul and Supreme Lord as super soul. So that is the first 6 chapters. As per the second and third is delineating that. That's why it is confidential. So then the middle 6 chapters, especially the seventh and eighth, are called Guhyatara, more confidential. Second, third is called confidential. And seventh and eighth chapter is called more confidential. Because seventh chapter and eighth chapter describing about the Sambandha Jnana more extensively with giving details of the energies of the Supreme Lord. Source of all the energies is the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, energetic, and all the energies, material, spiritual energies, nature of devotion service. That's why it's more confidential. In first six chapters, very glimpse only is given, but chapter 7 beginning, the nature of devotion service, how to execute devotion service, who approaches Supreme, who worships the Supreme Lord, who comes to Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, and who doesn't. So four kinds of people worship, four kinds of people who doesn't worship. So all these details, that's the nature of devotion service is described in seventh and how to attain him in brief. Seventh and eighth, that's a more confidential. Now ninth chapter is called more confidential because it is directly describing pure devotion service. Now we'll come to the connection between eighth chapter and ninth chapter soon. So in this way we can understand in English it is a positive, comparative, superlative, 3 degrees. Or in Sanskrit, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in higher literature, you can see Preshta, Preshtatara, Preshtatama. So dear, more dear, and dear most. So the impurity also, that's a more confidential, most confidential. So now the chapter 8, and chapter 8 ends, chapter 8 title is Attaining the Supreme. At the end, Krishna is describing Vedeshu Yajneshu Tapassu Chaiva Jnane Yet Punya Phalam Pradishtam Atyeti Sarvam Viditva Yeti Punya Phalam Chajam. So all the results of reading Vedas, studying the Vedic literature, engaging sacrifices, charity, so austerity, penance, all the results of all these activities single-handedly by one stroke of by engaging in devotion service, everything will be obtained. All the results of all those other activities, we don't need to separately endeavor or engage. That is the end. And that is the 8.28 last verse of 8th chapter. In the middle, because the another way also we have to understand the 7th chapter, Krishna is beginning, middle 6th chapter, where Acharya has explained in the 9th chapter why it is most confident. The whole Gita, essence of all the Vedic scriptures is called Bhagavad Gita. Okay. It's called Vedanta. Veda, you have four Veda, Rigveda, Samveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda. Then you have Upanishad. But the essence of all of them put together is Bhagavad Gita. Just by reading one book, you get every knowledge. What is not there also you have in Bhagavad Gita. So that is it. Within that essence of Bhagavad Gita, the middle six chapter is called the essence of Bhagavad Gita is in the middle six chapters. It is being protected. And within that further condensed most essence is in the ninth and tenth chapter. Especially the ninth chapter is the most confidential knowledge. That's why you will see the important verses, most important verses of always chanting Satatam Kirtayantomam are offering with love and devotion Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam. Most easiest and most blissful. So many verses like that. Lord is speaking. Ananya Chintayam Tomam. I take care of my devotees exclusively. Whatever they lack, I provide. So all these most wonderful verses, most important, the confidential verses are described, spoken in this chapter only. Mm. All the important verses. How he protects his devotees, how he takes care of devotees, so all those described. So that's why it's the most confidential knowledge. So now the chapter 8, no, chapter 7 is discussing also because it is beginning. Middle six chapters, seventh is beginning. So that's why it also describing Saguna Bhakti Saguna Bhakti and also called Karma Mishra Bhakti and Gnana Mishra Bhakti is described. Karma Mishra Bhakti, four kinds of people worship him with the desires. Somebody is looking for knowledge, somebody is looking for wealth, somebody is looking for distress, like Gajendra or the Andro Maharaj, distressed and looking for wealth. And then we have inquisitive and one who is wise. So you have Sonakand, other rishis, and then the wise Sukadev Goswami. These four kinds of people. not directly pure devotion, spontaneous devotion, but they have Mishra Bhakti. That's why it's called Karma Mishra Bhakti. Four kinds of some mentalities there. Four kinds of fruitive. That's a Karma Mishra Bhakti. Then they also described in the ninth. This is I think 16th verse 7.16, and you have 19th verse describing Jnana Mishra Bhakti, which is Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyate. This Gnana in the ninth chapter is different from this Gnana. The seventh and eighth, when he says Bahunam Janmanam, it is a mixture. There is a mixture of some fruitive mental. It is not pure, the topmost and the pure. No, it has some mixture. Because there are different levels of people. Not everybody is at PhD or advanced. So for each of those categories, there is a step-by-step progress. But the ninth chapter is the most and the highest and topmost, the pure form is been described. So seventh chapter, Jnana Mishra Bhakti is also described. Now in the eighth chapter, Krishna is talking about attaining how one can attain, and thinking of him at the end of life and how to practice it. All is described. And then Krishna is also describing Yoga Mishra Bhakti in the eighth chapter also. And then in the middle, Krishna is talking about pure bhakti also in the eighth chapter. Just a glimpse he has given, not detail. He didn't go into detail. He just said, Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarat Nitya Tasyaham Sulabha Parda Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. One who is constantly thinking of me, engaging in my service, for him, for them, I am very easy to obtain, very simple. Tasyaham Sulabha. I am very easy to obtain for those who are constantly engaged in my service, thinking of me. So, Ananya. Bhaktiastu Ananyaya, another verse also. So where Krishna is describing this. So that way, the seventh and eighth chapter you have Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. In the seventh and eighth you will see Yoga Mishra Bhakti, but also some glimpse of pure Bhakti is given. Now at the end of eighth chapter, what Krishna is describing, one who understands me and understands about bhakti and engaging in devotion service, he will attain me and he will be liberated from all the material conditioning and come to me. And he will come to the pure devotion. Now, how one can come to that pure devotion? Krishna has to give. So that's why ninth chapter, that is the connection from eighth chapter. Why ninth chapter Krishna suddenly, Arjuna is not asking any questions. So far, you see the almost, I think, 8 questions or so. Not only out. So so far in the seventh chapter and till eighth chapter, there are 8 questions or so Arjuna is asking. But ninth chapter, Arjuna is not asking any question. Lord himself is speaking, because in the eighth chapter, attaining the supreme, Krishna has spoken that pure devotion in 8.14, and at the end also in middle one more verse is there, Bhaktyasu Ananyaya. So he is speaking Ananya Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti, one pointed. So one focus, no other mixture of karma, jnana, or yoga, no other getting any results, only just love, pure love. So exchange of love. That's all there is. That is why. So since Krishna has to give now Aishwarya Gnan, Nirguna Gnan, this Gnan, when Krishna is saying Idam tu te guhyatamam, Gnanam Vijnanam. That Gnana is not any Karma Mishra Bhakti, that Gnana is not Gnana Mishra Bhakti, not Yoga Mishra. It is only pure Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti, Aikantiki Bhakti. So one pointed, no mixture of any other things, pure love. So that's why that is the connection. So since I have mentioned about it, how one can attain me by practicing pure devotion. Now I have to explain what that pure devotion service look like, what it entails, what does it mean. So that's how ninth chapter begins with the most confidential knowledge, where Sri Bhagavan was idam tu te guhyatamam. So that guhya. Now before going into the detail of this most confident essence of all this whole Bhagavad Gita, middle 6 chapters. Essence of 6 chapters, ninth and 10th. Because ninth and 10th gives the pure devotion, the most, the highest, the topmost process is being given. Just like, I don't know how many of you been there for Sri Kshetra Puri, Jagannath Puri Dham, where Lord Jagannath Baldev Sodra Marani resides. That is called Aishwarya Dham. So, but when they go to Vrindavan, that is called Nilachal, and Nilachal to Sundrachal, which is Vrindavan. Within the same Jagannath Puri, you have all the dhams, three dhams. Also, Navadvip Dham is also there. There's Chatak Parvat, and you have the ocean. All those are compared to the also Navadvip Dham. So all three dhams are there in Jagannath Puri as well. So there, Lord Jagannath has been taken from Dwaraka Aishwarya Dham to Madhurya Dham, Vrindavan, Nilachal to Sundarachal. When Lord is taken, the most confidential, many may not understand, but the most, when you see Lord Jagannath is in Radha Viraha Vidura. He is in separation from Radharani. Krishna is in separation from Radharani. He is always trying to go once a year. You have Radhayatra. Lord Jagannath is pulled, come outside to give his blessings. Anybody and everybody can go and visit and pull the cart, see him. And then he is gone to the other side, which is Vrindavan, Sundarachal, it is called. So that is the most ecstatic and most confidential. Many may not understand. Where all the Vrindavan Vasis, when Krishna left Vrindavan, he went to Dwaraka, Mathura and Dwaraka as a king. He got married, but he never went back. But in the middle, there is an eclipse where all of them, all the Vrindavan was, including Yashoda, Nanda, his father, parents, all the court boys, all the gopis, elderly gopis, and the gopis of Vrindavan, all came to meet Devaki and Vasudev, and especially Lord Krishna. So that is the most ecstatic and highest bliss, the purest and the topmost rasa is being expressed there, the meeting after so long of separation. So this is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then we understand because why it is most confident, pure devotion service. These verses, this chapter 9 verses are at different levels. For us, we understand pure devotion service, but these verses are also at the level of Manmana Bhakta Madhyas Imam Namaskar Mahave Vaisya Satyandi Pratijane Priyosme. 9.34 Krishna is speaking. Think of me, become my devotee, offer worship to me, offer obeisance to me, then you come to me just by doing this four. But the same aspect is discussed at the level of the gopis of Vrindavan, highest, the topmost level the highest rasa, but it's the most confidential. But that's why each verse has significant meanings. As we progress, then we understand, and the meaning will more and more gets enhanced. Our realization get enhanced as we practice, as you hear more, it gets enhanced. Then we understand what it means. What is this pure devotion Krishna is talking about? But I'll just give a glimpse of that the Jagannath Puri. Verses I was talking about, then we understand from Chaitanya Charitamrita, uh, so that we understand. So, यही काले देखे जगन्नाथ श्री राम सुभद्रा साता तबे जाने आइलना कुरुक्षेत्र सफल हईला जीवन देखियुलन पद्मलोचन जुडाइलु तनु मन नेत्र. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see Jagannath along with Balaram and Subhadra, he would immediately think that he had reached Kurukshetra, where all of them had come. He would think that his life was successful because he had seen the lotus eyed one, whom if seen pacifies the body, mind, and eyes. गरुड़ देवी सन्निधाने रही करे दर्शने से आनंदेर के कही बले गरुड़ स्तंभेर तले आचे एक निम्न काले सेई काले भरिला अश्रु जले. Staying near the Garuda Stambha, the Lord would look upon Lord Jagannath. What can be said about the strength of that love? On the ground beneath the column of Garuda Stambha was a deep ditch, and the ditch was filled with water of his tears. This is the most ecstatic because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna Viraha Vidura. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna, in the form of, in the mood of Srimati Radharani appeared. So he is now, in the mood of Radharani, is separation from Krishna. As soon as he is seeing the Lord Jagannath, who is Krishna, is in separation from Radharani. So both are looking at each other. So now he is going in ecstatic madness, where he is crying. Crying in tears. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavambudo krupaya tavapada pankasya taduli sadrusam vichintaya. So where it is, that's why it is explained here in front of the temple of Lord Jagannath in a column, Anuj, The statue of Garuda is situated. It is called Garuda Stamba. At the base of that column is a ditch, and the ditch was filled with the tears of the Lord, because in complete ecstasy. This is the most confidential. Tahan haite gare asi, matera upare vasi, nake kare prudvi likhana, aha kahan vrindavana, kahan gopendra nandana, kahan sei vamsi vadan. When coming from Jagannath temple to return to his house, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to sit on the ground and mark it with his nails. At such times he would be greatly morose and would cry, Alas, where is Vrindavana? Where is Krishna, the son of the king of cowherd men? Where is that person who plays that flute? So in this way, we can understand that highest, the most pure, how much the love and separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Jagannath or Srimad Radharani and Krishna, or the gopis of Vrindavan and Krishna, or the cohort boys and Krishna, or the parents Nanda and Yashoda and Krishna. When they meet at Kurukshetra, you will see in Krishna book also, chapter 85 or 84 we are reading. So now we are in that chapter. Every day at 8:30 to 9 we read Krishna book. So we are in that chapter. We can get the glimpse of that ecstatic rasa of this chapter of most confidential knowledge by hearing what exchanges were gone between these personalities, the Vrindavan Vasis and Lord Krishna, and Balaram and others. Now coming back to, so now we understand the connection from chapter 8 to 9 why Lord Krishna is speaking most confidential knowledge, because now in the first verse Krishna is speaking idam tu Sri Bhagavan vacha idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anusuyave gnanam vijnana yad mokshayase asubhat. So three things are described. Before going in detail, let me describe the sections so that we understand. Ninth chapter as sections, section wise 1 to 3. If you pay attention, especially the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, repeatedly Lord Krishna is stressing one thing about hearing. Hearing about transcendental topics of Lord Krishna again and again. Chapter 7, first verse, last line says, Tat Runu. Arjuna, you must hear with attention. And now you see that 8th chapter also you see that. 9th chapter also you see first 1 to 3, hearing about Lord Krishna. That is the first section we are discussing. And it also describes what qualification we should have, what are the disqualifications. In subtle way, it is being explained in these three verses. We'll come to that. Then the second section is 4 to 10, is inconceivable powers of Supreme Lord. And 11 to 25 is the third section, worshippers and non-worshippers, the various types of worshippers, so that we understand why in these chapters 7, 8, 9, we see these verses describing various things of Mishra Bhaktas. So that, and then first 6 chapters and last 6 chapters, you will not see these details, because so that we understand the level, the rarity of this bhakti means bhakti. Not everybody will come to the bhakti unless their first level of sinful activities is removed, then only they will be able to approach or come, inquire, come to this process of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, to the process of bhakti. Otherwise, it is not possible. That's why it is in there in middle. So until that, they have to go through the other process, punya karma, especially bhakti unmukha sukriti. They have to get somehow either ajnata sukriti or by through association of devotees or tulsi marani or prasadam, various means, then they will be able to come to this path. Otherwise, it's not possible. So that's why here we can see that, and that's why Krishna is describing in the middle 6 chapters also, most important chapters, still describing the worshippers and non-worshippers. Please mute your lines. What happened? Yeah. So worship, and that is the third section. The fourth section, last section, glories of devotion service to Krishna. The most important section. Last section is very important. All the famous verses are there. In the middle also are there, but the last verse is also very important. 26. Glories of devotion service to Krishna. Now today's verse, now we understand the connection from 8th chapter, 9th chapter, where it has been described how to become pure devotee, how to come to this Ananya bhakti, become Ananya Bhakta or Kevala Bhakta. So, because so that he's describing, he's inspiring Arjuna by describing these opulences, supreme power, his majesty, as I just mentioned about Lord Jagannath's majesty. He looks opulent like a king. That's why this is a king of education. There it says, when it says king of education, Raja Vidya in the second verse, Raja Vidya means another notation, Baladev Vidya Bhushan and Viswanath Chakra describing that Raja king means king is, this is Rajarshi, not today's kings. Previous Janak Maharaj, Lord Ramachandra, are the great kings, Lord Rishabhadev, Prutu Maharaj, all the great kings, Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, these great kings, because they are very dharma personified and they are very pious and they are um, they are not krupana, they are not miserly. They are very compassionate. They are always distributing their wealth, their knowledge. Their whole life is to mend for others. They are always giving to others. So that's why this king of it. That's why in that way. So it has been described the king of all knowledge. So because that's what they are Yudhishthira Maharaj, all these they are always thinking of Lord Krishna. They are thinking I am the representative of Krishna. He has given me the duty. My duty is to distribute. My duty is to serve others because this is the greatest responsibility. And they are in that way they are thinking. So of Lord Krishna service, they are whatever they are doing, they are 24 by 7. They are constantly thinking of the Lord and performing each and every duty. So even taking care of their family or working, even though it's a ordinary duty, but they are not seeing as different from Krishna's service. They are seeing everything as Krishna's. So that's why it is called King of all knowledge in that way. But anyway, the so now first verse where we are describing after understanding these sections how this ninth chapter is laid out. The first and foremost is idam tute guhyatamam. That idam means it is describing the nine processes, nine angas of devotion service, starting with Sravanam Kitram in seventh canto, fifth chapter, verse number I think 25, 26. Prahlad Maharaj is describing to Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu is asking is what did you learn? There is describing Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Archanam Mandanam Dasam Sakyam Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Mandanam Dasam Sakyam Atma Nivedam. These nine. Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhagavat Chet Navalakshana Tat Aditam Uttamam Tat Manye Aditam Uttamam Bhagavati Adha directly. One must directly engaging starting with hearing. Hearing is the topmost. Why? Acharyas explain the various Acharyas in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see that Bhagavat Prapti Ekari Upay Saravanadi Bhakti Krishna Prapti Rasahai. It is only by devotion service, beginning with hearing, that one can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the only means to approach Him. So, and just like the Chaitanya Charitamrita also gives an example, like when you are trying to or fertilize your land, you have a land, agricultural land, you want to grow something. But how will you grow? In order for you to put the seed and grow, then you have to first till the land, fertile it, make it, nice. Then you will be able to sow the seeds. Otherwise, you can't sow the seeds and nothing is going to come out. The same way, so there that comparison is given. Mali haya kare sei bija aropana sravana kirtana jale karaye sechan. So same way, this place of body, the place of action, where it is happening on agriculture land. This land is also this body is called land because we are using this body to do work, but we are not this body. Body is just an instrument is being given. So that's why it's meant Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hriddeshorjana Brahmayati Sarvabhutan Yantra Rudhan Yantra. Krishna himself is speaking that was yantra. This body is like a machine, the instrument, but we are not this body. We are the spirit soul. So same way, like fertiling the land, same way our body has to be fertile, nutrition, and you have to till the land. So that is the process of hearing and chanting is you put the water so regularly when you sow the seed. Same way, so the hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord is that's why before beginning the class, what did we do? Jairada Mada, that is Kirtan. So that because our mind is absorbed with so many things we are doing throughout the day, so you bring You become absorbed as you hear this kirtan. Automatically, you are in another state of consciousness. Then, when you hear, then it will be able to sink in, and you will be able to understand, apply it. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So that's why the process is given like that. So the first thing Krishna is mentioning, that idam means this pure devotion service can only be obtained or can be achieved by starting with hearing. So श्रवणादि अपश्याम तस्मिन् सा तद विषये पुरुषोत्तम अहम आदिर भवामी. According it is said, Krishna appears when we chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Right now we are impure, that's why we are not able to see. But Krishna does appear, we are not able to see. As we come to that stage, gradually after constant practice of chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then we will be able to see Krishna. So, like Narada Muni has seen, Parikshit Maharaj has seen, so many examples we see. So it will happen, but right now it is not. We are not at that stage. So that is a idam tu te guhyatamam. That is the most confidential we described. And pravakshami anasuyave. So speaking, the first condition, the qualifications are being given. First qualification is giving non-enviousness. If someone is envious, they can never. They could be a doctor, they could be a scholar, they could be a wealthy person, they could be any of these. But majority of the cases, they have some envious attitude for the Lord. So for them, this will stay a secret. They cannot understand middle 6 chapters. They cannot understand because it is very difficult to understand when you don't realize, when you don't have proper faith. You think it is mythology. You think God doesn't exist, or even if you think, then our God may be impersonal. So so many isms, so many conceptions, so many ideas are there. So for them, if there is no proper faith, then you can't understand. So that's the first qualification to understand this pure devotion is they shouldn't be and they should be non-envious. That's why Krishna is using that anasuyave. Arjuna, you are non-envious. That's why I'm speaking to you. So, and the second category is telling is we are generous. One must be generous, compassionate. We don't need to become great, rich person to become generous. Whatever we have, we can be generous. So within the capacity we have, we should be able to offer something. The tree is offering always its shade, its fruits, its flowers. Trees are like that. We can also become, that is a general second qualification. The third qualification is faith and loyalty. One must be very faithful and one must be very loyal to Lord Krishna and his representative. And the disqualifications, one who is envious, they can't perform pure devotion, they can't come to this path of pure devotion, bhakti. It's very, very difficult. That's why scholars are so many, even presidents, so many people wrote Bhagavad Gita, translated, but they themselves couldn't understand Krishna, and they couldn't transform anybody into thinking developing attachment to Krishna either, because they never understood. They were envious of Krishna. So they thought Krishna is just like ordinary human being, because they have seen in Doordarshan and whatnot, their understanding is crippled, miserly. So that's why they couldn't understand what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Even though it is simple for devotees to understand, but those who are not accepting the God as a supreme person, otherwise, what difference? Why should Lord has, if the God is also of the same quality, of same nature, then why does he have to give knowledge? Because he is supreme, he is pure, he is topmost, everything is coming from him, so that's why he is giving knowledge. So if he is also like contaminated, he is impure, he is also have a material body, then no point, no need of giving this knowledge, transcendental knowledge. So that's why we have to understand. But this cannot be understood so easily. So that's why disqualification will be one who is envious, one who is faithless, one who is disloyal, then he can't understand. So even they may hear. So that's why in the third verse Krishna is speaking that. But so that is the meaning here. idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anusuyave. Gnanam vijnana sahitam. Gnanam in this was talking about pure devotion service. Vijnana means as you practice this pure devotion service, starting with hearing and chanting, and then remembering, then archana worshipping means offering, bringing a flower or a fruit. So accordingly, like that arati, lamb, all these various articles. Archanam, Vandanam is offering obeisances. Dasyam, becoming a servant, master servant, serving Lord Krishna in that capacity. Dasyam, Sakyam, becoming a friend, and then Atmanivedan, offering everything like Bali Maharaj did. So in this way, 9 angas are there. Even if we perform one anga with very much deep attached, like Parikshit Maharaj just only did one Sravanam, he has perfected. So no fear, all is fear gone. Even though Takshaka snake bird bite him, it couldn't do anything. So no fear because it's completely every pore of his body is enlightened. But we are not at that stage. So that's why we have fear. We have fear. We have faith in many things, but we have fear because we don't have faith. We haven't become all the 9 pores, nava randras of our body is not enlightened fully. Even though we know Krishna is God, even though we know we are spirit soul, but still we are not enlightened fully. That's why we have fear. That's why we have lamentation. That's why we have anxiety. All these are there because we are not at completely. That's why we have to hear, continue to hear more and more. These are the qualifications and disqualifications. So that's why our real position is to love Krishna. But now we are just like ice, water. Water, when right now it's sometimes I think a few days ago, today it was not bad. It was freezing. So then when the water is in the freezing condition, what will happen? It become abnormal, it become ice. Same way right now, our heart also became like that, hard heart. So then it has to be under in touch with normal temperature, heat. Then automatically then ice will melt and become heat. So that fire is nothing but Krishna consciousness. Performing activities of bhakti is fire. You are in touch with fire. Whether it's chanting or hearing or physical service, offering a flower or fruit or worshipping the Lord with, or kirtan. All these steps, offering tulsi leaves, worshipping Tulsi Maharani, worshipping Lord's representative, a spiritual master, all these aspects are angas of the bhakti. So by that fire, automatically all the contaminations has been removed. So that's what we have to do on a regular basis. That is the first verse has been describing. Quickly, 3 things described: non-envious, confidential knowledge and realization will be enhanced by being non-envious and by hearing regularly, and all miseries are removed and destroyed when one hears properly. When will you hear properly? When you are non-envious. If you are envious, why will you hear? If someone you are envious of someone, some person, either office or outside, then you don't want you see, but you don't want to hear from him. You don't like because you are envious. Why you will not like to hear? You will not like to do anything for him. Same way, if we not free of that envy, then we will not like to chant. We will not like to hear. We will not want to do any service to Lord Krishna or his representative. Hey, why should I surrender? Why should I offer obeisances? So I am great. I don't need to surrender. I have a lot of money. I have everything nice. Then I don't need to come to temple. Neither I should bow down. So this is a of this. That's why when we want to hear properly, then this attitude we must be humble. So in more detail, if you join on Tuesday evening on the temple channel, 8 and 7 to 7:45, we'll be discussing chapter 13. Quick summary of chapter 13. Why we need knowledge. We'll be describing that and the whole 13 chapter. We understand the nature of this material world, who is the real enjoyer, what consciousness we should have. So that has been described in chapter 13. So please try to join if you can. Then we understand more deep. But this is the first verse or the important main instruction of first verse is, by hearing more and more, enlightened among, especially the association of devotees, and then constant engagement of the Lord service. Prabhupada is describing basically in his purport of this verse that one must hear and one must be in constant engagement. Lord service is actually asking Arjuna, if you want to be sincere, by seeing, Lord is seeing the sincerity and the mentality of the consciousness, Lord is giving intelligence. For those who are sincere, sincerely seeking, I want to develop love, I want to, I don't know what is the ultimate goal, but I want to come to that perfection, whatever is the ultimate goal, whatever is the topmost thing I want to attain, then Lord Krishna will give it to them by seeing the sincerity and mentality of that person. So here Lord is seeing Arjuna, so is very potent. So that's why one must do, and Krishna is telling one must be in the association of devotees and try to assimilate the knowledge by hearing, and then we have to apply. Then you will sure make serious advancement towards spiritual realization. That's why Gnanam and Vijnanam. You hear, and then whatever you hear, okay, you may hear 10 things, okay, you do one thing at least. Start thinking about how to apply this one thing, then gradually improve. So that will realization, it will give realization. If you don't do anything after hearing, then there is no realization. It will only stay as information, but there is no transformation, there is no transcendental. We stay where we are. So that's why advancement and realization will come by assimilating this knowledge and applying it. So that's why Lord Krishna is encouraging here to higher elevation in his potent service. So that is the main purpose of this first verse. Idam tute guhyatamam jnanam pravakshami anasuve jnanam vijnana sahitam yad jnata mokshayase asubhat. All the miseries are removed. So now the second verse is describing here Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Avagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Abhyam. So Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. Rajavidya I already described. So the Raja means king, king of all knowledge, because it is talking about Kevala Bhakti, pure devotion. That's why is the king, king of all knowledge. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, and the most confidential, as I described already. So Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. This is the most purest. So it will remove all the sinful activities. There are four kinds of sinful activities. Prabhupada is quoting, other Acharya Baladev Vidya Bhushan and Vishwanath Chakravarti is quoting this verse. From Padma Puran, there are four kinds of sinful activities the living entity has. Whether we like it or not like it, we have. We all have. That's why we are here in this material world. There are four. First one is aprarabdha. Aprarabdha means which is not being given at each lifetime. When we take whatever life, human body, animal body, whatever body we take, there is bank balance. That bank balance of previous lifetimes, everything cannot be given because we can't survive them in this life. So that's why only certain balance will be given, pious and impious, for each lifetime. So that whatever remaining yet to be used, whether pious, impious, that is called aprarabdha. That is one. Prarabdha, aprarabdham, phalonmukam, bijam kutam, kramenaiva paliyate. Vishnu bhakti ratatmana. This is the verse Padma Puran. Prabhupada is quoting, Acharya is quoting. So there are four kinds. One is aprarabdha, which is unmanifested, which is there, lying, so in our balance, yet to be assigned, yet to be burned up. That is aprarabdha. Then you have prarabdha, kotam, bijam. Bija means seed. Kotam means further more subtle, yet to be manifested. And then follow-on mukha means prarabdha or follow-on mukha means it is right now fructifying. We are seeing the results. Somebody is in distress, somebody has health problem, whatever problem, all this coming under this category of four categories. If anybody has infection, and so just like if you had to take cholera or typhoid, suddenly initially you will not know. So TB, whatever the case may be, many times you see sometimes symptoms, sometimes you cannot even see symptoms. You go to a doctor, then you get to know what the disease is, what the infection is, so and then how to cure it. So same way it takes time to come to that. So same way there is a seed form, kutam, bijam, seed form, and then before that there is a subtle desire before even manifesting as a seed of desire, unwanted desires. That is called kutam, and one which we are enjoying now or about to manifest, that is called prarabdha. These are the three levels. When one engages in bhakti, then automatically what is klesha agni. One of the six characteristics of bhakti is klesha agni is one. It is called just like if you put the seed in fire, it is fired. The seed is burned. You try to grow that seed, put in a land and try to grow it, water it. It never grows because it is already burned. You put it under fire. So the devotion service is compared with fire. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agam dunvanti karsnena niharam yovaskara. Sun may, the fire may dry up things, fire may burn the whole forest, but it can happen again that after forest fires, sometimes after 10 years, 100 years, things may start sorting up. But by performing bhakti, few devotional service gradually, we may have desires initially. From Saguna Bhakti, that means mixture of I have some desires. I want to do bhakti, but I have desires. So, which is all right. There are different levels, that's why. But everything get all the unwanted things get burned as you perform this bhakti. So that's why Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktiya Vasudeva Parayan Agam Dunvanti Karsnaya. So all even aprarabdha. Prarabdha goes, kotam goes, bijam goes, even aprarabdha. Whatever bank balance is there in our yet to be given for this lifetime, that also goes. All lifetime, whatever balance we have, completely nullifies. In general and an average, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, previous Acharya, he said, on an average, three lifetimes it takes for us to go back to Godhead. Three lifetimes. But if one is so very, very sincere, sincerely executing devotional service every day, in one lifetime, he can go back. But he has to be very, very sincere, um, uh, very dedicatedly performing devotional service. As you get to know things, you start practicing it and very consistently every day is practicing. For him, one lifetime. Prabhupada says in 1975, August 15th or August some date in New Orleans. Prabhupada is talking New Orleans farmhouse. Even now it is there, New Talavan, I think it's called. It's called New Talavan. There, Prabhupada is giving lecture. There, he mentioned seeing all very nicely they are growing vegetables and everything. They are growing everything at the farm and offering nicely chanting. They are nicely worshipping the deity, beautiful deities they have. So everything Prabhupada saw. Then he said, just continue chanting the 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, worshipping the deity, and offering tulsi leaves and watering the tulsi plant, taking care of tulsi, and following four regulative principles, and you will go back to Godhead in this lifetime. I'm very serious. I'm not trying to flatter you. This is what Prabhupada said, exact statements. I'm not trying to flatter you. So, because Krishna has given the promise, Manmana va mat bhakto madhyaj imam namaskuru mahame satyam pratyane priyotsme. This is the truth. You'll come back to me. Because you are practicing very seriously, then you will go back to Godhead in this lifetime itself. If Lord gives, as well as Lord's representative gives assurance, the Lord has no choice. But he has to allow that person to go back to God in this lifetime itself, provided they are following what Guru is giving, what is representative instructing. Then Lord automatically, just like Hiranyakashipu getting his wife Kayadu is giving birth, the demigods caught hold of her and told, no, this guy is going to be another demon. Already we are having issues with Hiranyakashipu. Why to have this? We will kill him. As soon as he is born, we will kill him. But Narada Muni walks in and tells, no, don't kill him. He's a great devotee. Is going to be born. The person who is going to be born is going to be a great devotee. Then automatically he became a great devotee. He took him to his ashram. Then he taught. Kayadu didn't remember anything. But the person who is in the womb, that's why one who is carrying, one who is pregnant, then they should read, they should hear. about devotion, about Krishna, about the Lord, then they may not get the result, but the person who is there in the womb gets the most highly important, the potent Sukruti, Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti will receive, and his life will be changing completely. Whatever may be written in astrology as per his, but it will change automatically. Karmani nirdahat kinchuta bhakti bhajam. So everything, aprarabdha, everything goes, all the simple activity, everything will be wiped out, everything will be burned. That happened in Narada Muni's case, that Prabhupada is quoting in this verse. Narada Muni has no idea whatsoever about devotion. Narada Muni has no knowledge. This process doesn't even require knowledge, especially if you are in touch with pure devotees. Narada Muni was the son of a Sudrani. He doesn't know anybody. His mother was working in some house, and there whatever she is getting, he is eating. That's all. He has no knowledge. He is not going to school. Nothing. And then at that time, these Bhakti Vedantis came, pure devotees of the Lord. They're always discussing. They're always serving Krishna, worshipping Krishna. Then he just simply served them because they just came to his place there and then happened to be at the same place. Then he started serving them. He started hearing from them, and then simply taking their remnant, simply hearing from them. Then he has come. He has became strong faith. He became very strong faith and became a great practitioner of this. Whatever they told exactly, they left in 4 months, and his mother also died. But exactly they are able to Uchchasta Lepan Anumodito Vijay Sakrit Asma Apasta Kilbishai. All is simple act, everything is removed. Everything is removed by simply tasting their remnant. And Tatranvam Krishna Kata Pragayatam Anugrahena Asranavan Manohara. Visuddha Manasa. So, Evam Pravartasya Visuddha Manasa. So, as he heard from them regularly, and after they left also, he followed exactly the chanting and hearing and worshipping the deity. And so, gradually, by following that process, he became perfect, he became purified, and he is able to see Krishna. He heard Lord Krishna's voice. So, within that lifetime, he is able to come to the highest level, the perfectional stage. It is possible, it is not impossible, but one must be very serious. One must be consistent. Then that's why it is called Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Edamatum. This is the most purest that it can burn. No other process can burn. You perform karma hundreds of lifetimes, it can never burn. Gnana, karma, yoga, astanga yoga, hatha yoga. You may get a mystic perfect. You can create planet, destroy planet, or you can go to some days and attain some planet, or you can appear here and disappear somewhere. All these are mystic perfect, all still material. It can't burn. That's why you'll see Vishwamitra, you'll see Saubramuni, you see so many yogis falling down. So it's not going to burn. The desires which are there in the heart of many lifetimes is not going to take out the desire. Only through process of bhakti, only it can fire that. It can completely burn up the desire in the heart. So that's why Krishna is speaking here. Pavitram idamuttam. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Pavitram idamuttam. Pratyaksham avagamam dharmyam. You can see if you perform, do it by simply tasting Krishna Prasad, you will see the results. You yourself, nobody needs to give you assurance certificate. You yourself, as you start hearing, as you start chanting, you yourself can watch. For 30 days, you practice chanting every day, 1 round or 2 rounds, few rounds, and you can see yourself the change in your consciousness. Uh, very much peaceful, very happy, joyful. You will see the result yourself. Definitely, there will be a difference before doing that activity and after doing that activity. And one who is doing seriously, imagine the transformation, imagine the bliss, ecstatic bliss, and the strength Lord is giving. Super soul is the one who is giving. So scientists are not able to discover or find out what exactly is happening. Red corpuscles, they are saying, but who is giving energy to the red corpuscles? Where it is coming from? The super soul is the one who is giving to the soul. That's how the red corpuscle, all this getting the energy. Otherwise, there is no possibility of getting energy. So So that's why more one performs seriously. So pratyaksha avagamam dharmyam susukam kartum, and very easy, jolly to perform. If he is not envious, if he is very faithful, that's the third verse is also Krishna is speaking. If one who is not faithful, then he can't. It won't be jolly. He will not be feeling happy. What is this dancing? What is this chanting? Why should I do? Nobody is doing. Why should I do? So first he needs to have faith. Then he has to be in association of devotees. He has to hear regularly. He has to take Krishna Prasadam. He has to chant. So then gradually he will be able to see the results. Direct realization. And Acharya has explained with a simple example of Bhakti Paresha Anubhava Virakti Anyatra Syat. Eka Kala Tushti Pushtikshud Apaya Anugasam. It is just like when you are eating Krishna Prasadam, there are three aspects of it. As soon as you start eating, then you feel happy. When you are, especially when you are hungry, you have already eaten, that's a different story. But in general, when you are hungry, when somebody gives you prasadam, then you start eating, then you feel satisfaction. You are happy, tusti. Then your hunger is gone. Shuddha apaya, no more hunger. And the nourishment you are getting energy. Not only happy, not only your hunger is gone, but you get the nourishment after eating. Your energy now. Eating, that is a pusti, nourishment. These three things are compared with Bhakti, Paresha, Anubhav, Virakti. Three things. Bhakti is compared with Tushti, happiness you are getting. Joyful as it is. Su Sukham Kartum Avyayam. Avyayam means that if you perform karma, gnana, yoga, it can destroy. That is pious activity. You perform, you open a hospital, or you feed somebody, or you do this, you get some maybe 100 credits, then you may get some, more riches, uh, or you may go to higher planet. But once that is gone, once that is over, you used up that bank balance, then you are again back to square one. There is no guarantee to get human birth. But for one who is performing devotional service, Krishna is guaranteeing in second chapter again and again throughout Bhagavad Gita. Assurance is given that they will get human birth for sure. They will get for human birth. For one who is performing bhakti. 2.40, you see Neha Vikram Nasosti Pratyavaya. Sixth chapter, you see Sujanam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brashta Vijayate. Even if they fall down, they will be born again in Brahmana family or pious family or religious family and then continue where he left off. You will not lose anything. Whatever he has done in this life, 1% or 2%, he will continue in a human birth and again continue from there where he left off. That balance is always there. And so that's why here is very important. No? Bhakti, Paresha Anubhava Virakti. Virakti means detachment, internal, not external. Krishna never said in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, you give up. Arjuna himself is saying, I will give up, I will go to forest, I don't want to fight. No, but Krishna is telling, no, you have to do the duty. How long you are going to keep rejecting, renounce? Oh, no, it's too difficult. I want to renounce and go somewhere. Where you go, even if you go to forest, you will be afraid of things. You can't stay for one day. One who is very simple, one who is Sarvabhota, is equal to all living entities, then he doesn't have fear to snake, he doesn't have fear to tiger. Those who are those forest dwellers, they don't have fear because they are also, even the animals also doesn't do anything because they have developed that status. So it is not easy for a person who has fear, who has not transformed himself, going to forest and do what? So that's why it is to do with internal. Bhakti is not nothing much. Externals is only to help remind us. If you wear a dhoti, it is to remind you that you have to be peaceful, you have to be simple, you have to try to execute devotion service. If you put tilak, that is also external, just to remind you, you are not this body, you are not the father, mother, you are servant of Krishna. It is just to trying to remind you. The external features, the external, the process, the setup, the platform is all to remind us. When we go to temple, oh, we see this temple, immediately, oh, you want to bow down, you want to do, because natural, automatically we will bound to do things. We develop attachment and try to do, which is helpful in our trying to come to close to God, close to Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. So that's why here it is mentioned Bhakti, Pareshanu, Virakti. You automatically internal detachment will happen from worldly things. You will not be attached. You will use things, you will use cell phone, car, everything. You will use your home, whatever you have, you will use everything, but you will not be attached to anything. You will use it very wisely. Even you have a lot of money, you will not spend it unnecessarily because you see everything as Krishna's property. That's why you don't think, oh, I am working, I can enjoy whatever way I like. No, you will not see like that. As you more get into this process internally, you know exactly how to utilize everything. Krishna will give intelligence. So that's what virakti means. And then prapadya manas bhakti paresha anubhava. Paresha anubhava means realizations. Just like the nourishment will happen, that is compared with the automatically when you're eating, automatic nourishment is coming. Same way, this process of bhakti, as you perform, internal detachment, and you are getting so much bliss, ecstatic bliss, Sandra Ananda Visheshatma. And it attracts Sri Krishna Akarshana. This is the byproduct, this is the result of performing bhakti. So that's why it is meant Susukam Kartum Avyayam, means it is inexplicable, it will never be destroyed. Whatever you perform, everything is remains continues in the next life. If you are not perfected in this life, if you take another life, you will continue where you left off. Mm. That's why in Ajamil pastime, there it is been mentioned. Naveda purvam aparam nasta janma sprutam tata. Because we don't know what has happened in the past life, what kind of life we had, what species of life, and the future what we are going to get, we don't know. We have forgotten. Nasta Janma Sputa. Now Veda Purvam Aparam. We don't know, but we are still not inquiring. We are not afraid of what has happened in the past. We are not thinking of the future. What we are going to get in the future, we are not thinking. Because in the life, in this life, we are already seeing from boyhood to youthhood to old age, we are changing the body and we are seeing the results. We are going through distress. We are seeing the health problem, this problem, ABCD, whatever the problem may be, we are seeing, but still we are not thinking. If in this life itself I am going through this, then imagine what in the future life what I am going to go through uh, by by my own actions. If one who understands this, then he will come to the process of devotion service, so that he understands what has to be done, how to rectify this infection, this material infection. It is called material infection, material disease, skin disease. So that is the that's why Krishna is mentioning this is Avyaya. But what you are trying to do on using this body is Veya. It is going to be finished. Matter of days, months, you will enjoy. But after that, what? You have to suffer much more than your flickering enjoyment, which is not going to last. So that's why Krishna is speaking here. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Avagamam Dharmyo Susukam Kartumabhyam. It will very joyfully perform. You'll see that's why many times in the beginning itself, 70s, 80s itself, people used to ask, hey, how come? They asked Prabhupada, their disciples asked, how come your devotees are bright faced, they are always jolly and happy? So what do you guys do? So how come? So because that's naturally your enlightenment, the process of bhakti is such that you will be pure, you will be glowing like anything. So more you are advanced, more automatically you'll be glowing because the brightening the consciousness, the soul. So is getting all the indriyas, all the senses are brightening. So all the nava randras, nine holes are getting enlightenment. So automatically, so it will appear. The face is the index of your consciousness. Automatically, we can see the other person perceives. So is different. Something is wrong. Somebody else also asked me like that. One of the IT person long back. How come you are always happy and jolly? Your face is bright. So I said we just perform bhakti. What Krishna is telling, what Sri Prabhupada is giving, I'm just trying to do. Then automatically, because the energy is coming super soul, so there is no surprise in it, because the Krishna is assuring here in Bhagavad Gita. So automatically you get the result. You will see the transformation. We don't need to try to do apply cosmetics or you do some Ashtanga yoga, gymnastics to beautify this body. Naturally, it will happen. So that's what those on the last verse, already 8:15. So I haven't covered much. So the last verse, the third verse, Krishna is speaking. Now, after speaking this most confidential, most purest, and it doesn't destroy. and most happy by performing this bhakti. So susum karto. Now Krishna is speaking third aspect so that we understand. But you need to have faith. Yes, what you said is great, but what to do if person who is not faithful? Then what will be the result? Arjuna may ask. That's why Krishna is speaking. Ashrata dhana purusha dharmasyasya paranto apraptimam nivartante muttu samsara vartamani. One who is not faithful, asraddha, one who is not having a faith. So that's why the Prabhupada explained there are three categories, three divisions of devotees, three kinds of faith. The lowest faith is somebody has a problem. Mm, It could be job, health, or whatever. Basic problems or deep problems. They will come to temple because they all know. When people have problem, then they know. They have to take shelter. So that time they come, whether the parents tell or somebody else tell, somehow or other they come. And then after a month or a year, I have myself have seen. So those used to attend the classes after a year or 2 years, they left. Then because they and I also saw that they became rich. Also, they got a lot of opulence because bhakti automatically those are byproducts. Those are nothing. The getting opulence already by that is just a ordinary byproduct. So because that's what they came for, so that's what they got. So now they are happy. They don't want anything to do with Krishna. So they went back. So that is the third type of faith. Those who doesn't have faith, much faith, but because they are in a problem, they have taken to Krishna consciousness for a year or two or few years, and they have come with some hidden motive, and then after some time they will lose faith and they will go back and do their own thing what they used to do before. So this is the lowest faith. They don't have much faith somehow or the other because of the problem, because of some motive they came and they go back. The second category is they have faith but they are not firm faith, but they follow, they have medium faith. So but they are not firmly fixed. They don't understand the whole philosophy. They don't understand the whole execution of how to execute devotional service, what to do, what not to. They don't know everything, but they want to be. They will be in association of devotees. They want to practice seriously, sincerely. This is a madhyam bhakta, medium faith. The topmost, the highest faith is one who is firmly fixed up, one who is convinced, and he understands the whole philosophy, all the religious principles, what to do, what not to do, and then how to execute devotion service, what offenses to be avoided while chanting, what offenses to be avoided, dham aprad, seva aprad, nam aprad. So all this carefully understanding, and he is fully fixed up because he has understood, he has thoroughly listened and practiced and doing service. Then by all this process, all his unwanted things are removed, and then he's firmly fixed up. Nothing could shake. First type of person never falls down. Second type of person also, 99% of the time he doesn't fall down. But the third type of person, he falls down and goes back and do their own thing. So there is the third. One who is not faithful, the third category are those who doesn't even come to this process. That's what Krishna is mentioning. Asrata dana purusha dharma syasya parantapa. He never want to follow religious principles because he doesn't have faith. Dharmasam asya parantama mrityu samsara vartamani. Then what he will go through, he has to take this birth, death, old age, disease, come back again. Different human birth is not guaranteed. So in whatever species of life, he has to go through the gradual evolution again. So and then you may get after many millions of lives, you may get human birth, and it will go on in this chakra. एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं नानुवर्तयति अगायुरिन्द्रियारामो मोघपार्था सजीवति. In another chapter, Krishna is mentioning. So they will go through this cycle and take different species of life. One who is not faithful, not want to follow what Krishna can do. He keeps applying necessity. That is basic, right? If you have a person, CEO or a guardian or a protector or a father, he will supply. If you have 100 kids, he will supply to all of them. Necessity is basic. But one who needs attention, one who is crying, one who really needs help, he will pay more attention. Even though he is supplying everybody. Same way Krishna is also as God is supplying on regular necessities for everybody. Whether a theist or theist, for everybody. But one who really want to understand and come to him, then for him, he is giving the right intelligence. Otherwise, he is hiding himself from those who doesn't want him. He wants other material things. Okay, already you take it and be happy. Mm. So that's why he has different representatives, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, different demigods. He will he will send to them because that's what they wanted. They want different minute ABC. Then all right, you worship them. So then when they realize it, then gradually they will come. So so that's how this 1, 2, 3, the first section, hear about me. So in this way we understand that how important about hearing. And Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur had mentioned also, unless one who is engaged in Hari, Guru, Vaishnava Seva, Lord Hari, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, Guru, spiritual master, and Vaishnava devotees, then whatever he may chant, but not really. So chanting is supposed to be the result. The meaning of chanting is to, oh Almighty Lord Krishna, oh all attractive Lord Krishna, Almighty Lord Rama, Radhika Raman, Balram, Parsuram, Lord Ramachandra. You could be say anything, any of that. Please engage me in your service. That is the meaning of the chanting. That's what the real meaning. Then we must engage in the service. Hari, Guru, Vaishnava. If we are not engaged in service, that means we haven't understood. Want to chant for some other benefit maybe. So then chanting will not have a real effect. That's what Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said. So that's why one must try to do Hari, Guru, Vaishnava Seva while chanting, along with chanting. So then automatically, like Parikshit Maharaj, his whole life he served. He's always acted religiously and served. Janak Maharaj, Lord Ramachandra, Rishabhadev, Pruth Maharaj, they always served. So as per religion, they always try to take care of their whoever is under their guidance. So so they are always very conscious, cognizant of everything, the whole life. So they never wasted their life for unnecessary, unwanted things. So that is the crux of this today's first section of hearing about deeply hearing, attentively hearing Krishna. Then we get realizations, we get very much happiness, internal bliss. Nothing will upset, nothing will bother us. We will not lament for anything and anything. And will not be will be our faith will be so strong. As you get on train, as you get on bus, as you get on ship, we are faithful. You don't so you get, because you have strong faith, that's why you buy a ticket and you get on. If you don't have faith, you will not take that bus or train or car or ship. But you are getting on, that means you have faith. Same way, when you are enlightened with this transcendental knowledge, you will not have any fear whatsoever. So when we give up this body at the time of death, you will not feel any difference. Oh, I'm just changing the dress. So you will not feel, because since we are not enlightened fully, we still have some misapprehensions, some misconceptions, and different ideas and thoughts how to enjoy using this body. Then definitely we will have lamentation. Then we have fear. So that's why we have to con- uh, constantly hear more and more until we come to that point of this enlightenment of all, each and every sense, each and every whole, especially Jnanendriyas, the eyes, the nose, the skin, the tongue, all these five Jnanendriyas has to be enlightened. So that's why we have to practice this hearing. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Gandharva, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Anyone has quick questions? Unmute. If anyone has quick questions, you can ask. If not, we'll conclude. Monday is Ekadasi, Safala Ekadasi, fasting from grains and beans. Anyone has questions, comments? Okay, it's like no questions, everybody understood.